Okay, can everyone hear me okay? Just let me know in your channel if the video is coming out okay and you can hear me. But what we're going to do today is kick off your next set of homework assignments that will be due in a couple of days. It's called the core types. Okay, you all can hear me fine. So the first thing we're going to do is, here we go. We are going to clone down a repository and get you these next set of exercises to work on. So to do that, let's say we're going to be in your Turing folder, and we're going to cd into your one module folder that we created together the other day, and we are going to type in this. We are going to type git clone. Don't worry about this URL. I'm going to paste this into your Slack channel. School. Okay, bear with me while I get this over. So type that in, and it should clone down and copy into your directory. So we're just going to pause here and let everyone clone that down. Genevieve tried doing this same thing, but typed in sudo first. So it would be sudo git clone, etc., etc. Also try to open Xcode and agree to the conditions. As another possible. Okay, so we're just going to move on, Geneve. If you're still having issues after this, we're scheduled for an hour to kick off this exercise. It's not going to take us an entire hour, so we can circle around. We can circle around and make sure everything's working with you afterwards. So what we're doing here is that we've copied this down. We've cloned down Ruby exercises, and we're going to cd into that directory. And we do that by typing cd ruby-exercises. Okay, see in Slack you can't hear me. Can anyone else not hear me? And is anyone else having issues with it being clear? If you are having trouble hearing or seeing me, you can go to this link that I'm posting into Slack, and there are instructions on how to actually proceed this so you can work with this on your own. If seeing/hearing is difficult. And again, if you continue to have issues getting everything to work, we will circle back to you afterwards. So we're currently in the directory here, and this is a listing. This is Ruby Exercises repository. Has a lot of different exercises, and we are going to do one of them today, and they'll be due in a couple of days. And that exercise group is core types. So now that we're in the Ruby Exercises folder, we're going to change directory into the core types directory. And if we do a listing, we can see that we have a README file and 5 files. So what we have to do here is we need to get some additional software the computer needs. Some of you may have this already installed, some of you may not. What we're going to do is we're going to install this gem called Bundler. And what Bundler does, it's a piece of software that for Ruby programs goes out to the internet and gets us all the software we need. To install that, we type in gem install Bundler and we hit enter. And that might take a little bit to do its thing. I'm going to type this into your Slack so you can see. So now after it installed Bundler, what Bundler does is, this, like I said, it's a piece of software that goes and downloads all the other software that we can't use, that we may need. So our next step after installing Bundler is to actually run Bundler. So we run that by typing in bundle. And it may take a little bit, so we're just going to pause here and wait for everyone to catch up. The people that are having permission denied issues, make sure that you are typing in the command exactly as follows with HTTPS. That is necessary for you to have HTTPS at the beginning of that URL. Geneva, what part are you currently stuck at? Excuse me. Okay, so you want to run the git clone command. Okay, so we're just going to go back to where we were. We're going to pretend that we just cloned down. And Claudia, I'm going to take a look at yours after we get everyone else rolling. So we are in the one module folder we've just cloned down into Ruby exercises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Ruby exercises directory. And in the Ruby exercises directory, we see that there are a number of directories with a variety of exercises. So the ones we're working on today are the core types. So we're going to change it to the core types directory. Here we need to download a piece of software that we need to install that'll get us other software, and we do that by typing in gem install bundler. And that should take a little bit, and then the bundler's installed. And after that we type in bundle, and what bundle will do is it'll go through our files in this directory and see if we need any additional kind of software to run this stuff. So now at this point we've got bundled, and we're going to take a look at our files. So each one of these files that we have in this directory, array test, block test, fixnum test, hash test, string test, is its own little exercise, and I'm going to give you the order in which you should start things. But let's start off with fixnum test. So I'm going to open up using my editor fixnum.test, and we have here a bunch of code. You know, it's not important to know what this top part does right now. The idea here is that we want you to learn about fixnums. And we see this code here. Assert equal 2 underscores and something over here. And we see that the name of this method is test add. So what we kind of want to do is we want to replace these underscores with the answer of this. Assert equals means that whatever is on the left side of this comma has to equal what is on the right side of this comma. So when we look here at line 11, what do you think 6.send, the symbol plus, and 3 will get me? Ali says 9. Yep, so I want to repeat myself here. So we have here on line 11, assert equal. And what assert equal means is that whatever comes after it, separated by the comma, it expects them to be equal. So we have 6.send, and passing into that the plus symbol and 3. And we expect that whatever is over here on this right side to be equal here. So everyone seems to say 9. So what we're going to do is that we're going to replace those underscores, that kind of blank spot, with 9. And we're going to go over here and we're going to change directory into folder here. And we're going to run fixnum test.rb, and it's going to error out. So this is kind of the beginnings of software testing, and what we have here on the left are some tests here, and we have to make them pass. So it says one passing assertion. So that means that this here on left on number 11 is correct. That means we don't have to worry about it. We see that there's an error. It says fill the blank, rerun the test, fixnum test 12, line 12. So we're going to go to line 12 over on this side. And we see here that we have a assert equals and we have a 7 dot plus 2. So we need to change this blank here with what we think 7 and 2 equals. So 7 dot plus 2, what do you all think that is equal to? Or we should enter in the blank spot here? Okay, we've got a 9.0, a 9 dot. Sounds all reasonable. 9 again. So it looks like we have two different answers. We have a 9.0 and a 9 again. Let's see what happens. Let's go back here, and we're going to replace that, and we're going to put a 9.0. And we are going to run our Ruby fixed-num test again, and we'll see what it says. 2 passing assertions. And that looks like it was right. So let's see what happens when we just do 9. And both work. So you should find out, look into this, and let me know tomorrow why you think both work in this case. So now that we've seen this pattern, we have this final assertion for the add case, and we have 8 plus 5 on the right-hand side. What should we change this blank spot to? Yep, and we have 3 people saying 13 right off the bat. So let's shove a 13. Nope. Made a mistake there. Let's put a 13 here. We run the test file, and we see that we now have 3 passing assertions. So at this point, let's move on to test subtract. So we have the same kind of setup. We have assert equal, a blank, and then we have the same kind of thing as we saw in add. 2 dot send, the symbol, minus sign, and 1. So what do you think we should fill in the blank here? Okay, everyone says 1. I'm going to put 1 in there. And oops. And we see now we have 4 passing assertions. That 1 was correct. Before we kind of step back and go back over this entire process again, for the people that are having trouble, does anyone have any questions about this kind of exercise? That's fine. We can definitely do everything over again. No, I'm not using Atom right now. I can use Atom when I go through again. So if anyone has any objections, I'll run through this from start again. Okay, it looks like there are no objections, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reset my screen, so bear with me as I set things up again. Okay. So where is Slack? So I'm just going to move some things around. Okay. So I'm going to start again from scratch. First thing I want to do is I'm currently in my Turing one module folder, and I want to clone down all of the exercises that I'm going to need. I do that by typing in git clone Turing School Ruby-exercises. And let me know if this works for you. In particular, Claudia, I know you're having issues cloning down. No, that is you, because that's my window of. I can move that to the side. Okay, so now that I've cloned everything down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change into the directory. Okay, Claudia, I'm gonna screen here with you after this, but I'm just gonna go through this process for everyone else that may have not gotten caught up. So I'm going to go into the Ruby exercises directory, and then I'm going to core types. And in core types, I'm going to open up Atom using Atom dot. And we have Atom up here, and it's looking as it should. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go to fixthem.test, because that's what I want you to work on first. And the object of this is to make this pass. So I see here that I have my first test here, So actually, let's not do anything. Let's not make any changes. Let's run everything to start with so we can see what's going on. So let's run Ruby fixnum test.rb, and we can see here that we've got this whole bunch of E's for errors, and we have 0 passing assertions. And we have an error that says fill in the blank and rerun the test, fixnum test, line 11. So I want to see here, I'm going to line 11. Well, we have a blank here and it wants me to fill that in. So what this is telling us is that it wants this to equal whatever's on this side. So I'm going to think about it. I'm going to look at this. 6, send. I see a plus symbol here. I have a 3. And I see the test is add. So I'm going to kind of come to the conclusion that when I call send on this number 6 and give it a plus and a 3, I actually kind of want to add it. So I'm going to do, I'm going to change that to 9, save my file, rerun the test. No, yeah, there we go. I have 1 passing assertion because I've made this pass. And then I see that exception, fill in the blank, rerun the test, line 12. Before it said line 11, now it says line 12. So I know that line 11 must be correct, and it wants me to move to line 12. So here I see kind of the same thing again. I won't need to make these two equal. 7 point plus 2. And we said that was 9 earlier. So we're going to change that to 9. And we're going to run the test. And we see here that we have 2 passing assertions. And we go on and so forth throughout until we finish the rest of these exercises. The one thing, this will be due, I believe, on Thursday. So you have a couple of days to complete. We may extend that later. If you finish fixnum, this is the order I want you to do them. It'll be fixnum, string, array, hash, and block if you are a winner. When I say if you're a winner, that means that if you get to block and complete block, that would be awesome. If you do not get to block, that's perfectly fine too. Does anyone have any questions? Thursday-ish. The maybes at the bottom, it's a good question. Maybe we have to replace with assert or refute. So let's say here we're looking at test even. Is 7 even? Yes or no? It's not. So what we do is that we replace maybe with refute. Assert means it expect. Let me rephrase here. Assert here. Assert means, if I can spell, that whatever comes after assert, it expects to be true. Refute is the opposite. The commands from the main test, you actually run the file. So you just run ruby fixnum underscore test.rb. So going back to test even, 7 is not even. So we know that 7.even should be false. So we change this to refute. And we look at 6, 6.even, this should be true. So we should change this maybe to assert. Okay, so if there are no other questions, we're going to let you off to do this and work on this. I'll be available. You complete these. Yeah, that's a good question, Ling. You don't need to submit these to me. Like most of the homework you do is not something you submit to us. It's it's really kind of on you. We're not going to be the kind of like to look over your shoulder, see you're doing what you're doing. What we'll do is that we'll go over class and how we've done in the past and how we continue to do that. We'll talk about in class, and then we'll probably ask you, like, hey, what's your solution? We'll ask you about it, and we'll kind of go over things. Bring the session, the time we divide out to going over homework. Bring questions, or you can just Slack message me with the questions, and I'm more happy to answer them. Okay, so if that's it, we're going to close this broadcast thing. I'm going to, Claudia, I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to get on screen here and figure out what's going on. And I'll be around all night, so just Slack me if you have any issues about this, any questions. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. If you're here at Turing, go home, get out of here before, I think it's still snowing, I'm not sure. But have a good one.